So 2 years ago, I got a phone call from George Clooney asking him to be in his crew for the film that he was directing called The Boys in the Boat, based on the very popular book, So I've Heard.
Welcome to another episode of On the Water. We are obviously not on the water. We are sheltering from the water that is falling from the skies during Regatta Week. Welcome to Bruce Herbelin-Earle, one of the Boys in the Boat sort of modern incarnation. One of the guys who has helped bring that amazing book to the screens with George Clooney. Tell us about your connection to the sport and your first connection to the sport.
So 2 years ago, I got a phone call from George Clooney asking him to be in his crew for the film that he was directing called The Boys in the Boat, based on the very popular book, So I've Heard. And he wanted to find out whether I was up for the athletic ability that the role entailed. And of course, what, are you crazy? Of course I am, let's go. And that's it. You know, a couple months later, I was training in a boat with a group of novices, much like myself. I'd never set foot in a boat before, let alone even learn the proper technique on a rowing machine. But YouTube was my friend beforehand with the technique. And when it came to training, the weeks went by and we naturally slipped into this amazing rhythm of working together and discovering the sport together. And the rest is history.
And how long did it take you as a crew to have that first sense when there was one stroke where you were suddenly like, ooh, and everybody felt it and could agree that felt different and good and amazing and you wanted more of that?
That's a great question. I think it really hit us when we were about halfway through filming and we were really getting it. We'd had all the training and we were really getting into the rhythm of doing really quick stop and starts on the lake as George Clooney would shout action. We'd go for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds and stop. We had a couple times where we'd all look to each other and feel something different, I think. And that was about halfway through filming. And on one of the days, we even reached 44 strokes. Was it 46 strokes? The boys reached 46 in the Olympic race in the book. And we hit it. Not for very long, but what a feeling that was, you know, and we all looked to each other and we were like, we tasted it just for a few strokes and we understood exactly why it is that rowers do what they do and why they love to do what they do.
And did you find yourself going back to the book again and reading it with new eyes, perhaps even during that period as you started to understand the sport more and reading it with new eyes and comprehension?
Absolutely. I read it before I started the job. Most of us did. And as we were shooting, it kind of became my little reference, a little emotional reference book, so to speak. And it was a great tool in that sense.
And the connection with Washington, you're proudly wearing the Washington colours. There we go. UW, the Boys in the Boat, as they've sort of, it's an interesting point because they've almost reclaimed that title, almost back from the book, back from history, and now put it on the side of it. And it's reinvigorated their program with a sense of currency and history. And you gave that to them, which is an amazing gift.
I'm not sure how much the film success can contribute to that, but the book and the whole emotional journey that they all go on. Yes, it has been revived, you are right. But I think in particular this year, the boys, the varsity crew of the UW are exceptional. There are 3 Brits in the boat who are exceptional. The coach is exceptional. Like everything seems to be lining up for the boat to be nicknamed Golden Racing, which I believe it is nicknamed after. So yeah, it's very evident that these guys are extremely talented, and it's great to be able to have even a small part to play in that, you know?
And so your experience at Henley,
Yeah.
have you been before?
Yes.
And when was that? And what did you think of it then?
So we did a couple weeks filming here,
Okay.
of which the last day of filming ended up, we all jumped in the river, which of course, you know, isn't the cleanest of places.
Yeah.
But no, apart from that, I've never attended the regatta in itself, so it's my first time. So thank you to Henley for inviting me. It's been great.
And how have you found today, finals day? It's
Fantastic.
been quite challenging from the weather point of view. Let's
It
get that
has.
out of the way.
It has. Quite challenging from the results point of view as well. Obviously, I'm here supporting the Washington boys, and they had quite a dodgy start. But equally, you know, they've done amazing this year in their other races, and I'm so proud of who they are and what they're going to go on and become.
And how does this experience now leave you within the sport? Are you a sort of passionate observer? Are you still rowing? What has it done to you inside?
I would love to be in a boat, Matthew, but you know, it won't be with my boys. And so there's this barrier, there's this reluctance. I know Joel, one of the actors in the boat, is rowing with a different crew, and that's fantastic. But I've not had that real kick and motivation to call up the nearest lake or reservoir and jump in their boat yet, maybe. But I do, every time I go to the gym, I warm up on the rowing machine, you know, 15, 20 minutes. It's still in me, it's still like, of course the boat is different, but I'm reluctant to jump into another boat so soon because of the experience that I had with these boys. It was just so special.
And you know, it sort of immersed you in this world of the sport, the history. You know, we're surrounded by the history in the trophy cabinet here. The Olympics in Paris is coming up. You're going to watch all that with new eyes, right?
Absolutely. It's going to feel amazing. I'm connected to the sport in a way that not many people can say they are, you know? Went from 0 to 100 miles an hour in about 8 weeks, and then it was time to shoot. And we had to be ready. We had to look like Olympians, you know? And it was a daunting task, but thanks to the trainers, thanks to the physios on set, thanks to everyone, I think we passed the test. So yeah, very, very great.
And how is it? Presumably you've been out to UW and been in their boathouse and seen that boat hanging in the rafters and been in that boathouse and smelt the sawdust and walked in those footsteps.
Crazy, absolutely crazy experience, yeah. Yeah, the University of Washington were very kind to invite us over. And the boathouse is still standing, and Pocock's office is exactly the way it was, albeit it's sort of like a bit of a museum now, you know? Yeah. And speechless when I walked in, you know? And everyone felt that.
It's lovely to see you here. We hope you stay connected with the sport. Thank you for bringing it to life. I think you did pass the test.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Great having you here.
Thank you very much.
If you have missed any of the racing during Henley Royal Regatta, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave your sofa. You do not have to get wet. You just have to go onto our YouTube channel, and there you will find every race on demand.